All right, happy Monday, everybody. It is last week in April, so we're getting closer to the end. I just want to review a little bit about W-4. Last week, you guys should have filled out a W-4. You guys, every time you get a new job, you would fill out this form, this W-4 form, and that tells the employer how much of taxes that the employer needs to hold for state and federal taxes. Okay, because it's critical to know the difference between a W-2 and a W-4. W-4 tells the employer how much to withhold for taxes. W-2 shows you how much you made at that job throughout the course of the year. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding your W-4, please let me know. I see some of you guys have not submitted quite yet, so please get that in. That's probably the easiest assignment you'll ever do. Okay, so get that submitted, get that taken care of so I can get that in the grade book. I want to now move into your W-2 form. I realize tax day usually is the 15th, but with it being the pandemic and all that, I know they pushed it back, so this kind of fits well with when we're doing this. Okay, so using the W-2 form, and how do you know if you need to file for taxes? Okay, I realize you guys are sophomores, juniors, seniors. Do you have to file for taxes? Do you not? Even if you don't, can you? Okay, so there's a couple questions that you guys might be asking yourself. Okay, so first off, who must file? Who must file for taxes? If you are single and under the age of 65, the magic number right now is 12,200. Okay, I know these are a little bit low, but the updated numbers are 12,200. So right now, if you were making over $12,200, you are legally able to file. Like, you should be filing. You're mandated to. If you are working a part-time job right now and you do not make more than $12,200, you do not need to file. However, you are able to. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that process and whatnot. Just to break this down first before we move into things, there are 5 filing statuses that you need to know about when you are filing for your tax return. The first one is single. This is an individual who never married or is divorced or is legally separated with no dependents. Okay, so right there's 1, single. 2, if you are married and you're filing together. Okay, so if the two people that are married, they are just filing one tax return and it has both of their numbers on them. Okay, that's one way to file it. The third way is if you are married and you are filing 2 separate tax returns. Okay, so if person A is married to person B, person A files their own tax returns, person B files their own tax returns. Okay, but they are still married, they just file separate returns. That's another option. The fourth one is head of household. This is an unmarried individual or a surviving spouse who maintains a household, paying more than 1/2 of the cost of the child or any other dependent that is there. Okay, so possibly a mother or a father that still is taking care of a child. That could be an example of head of household. And the other, maybe it was divorced. Then lastly, qualifying widow or widower, an individual whose spouse died within the last 2 years and has a dependent. Okay, so right there, those 5 status categories you'll want to know for your test. So it's single, married filing together, married filing separate, head of household, and widow. Okay, so you guys will want to know those 5 things, those 5 filing statuses. I want to jump into your assignment. I want to walk you through one example because it can be confusing, and so that'd be beneficial for you. Okay, so up in Google Classroom, I did post an assignment for you, and we're going to walk through a 1040, filling out a tax return, a 1040 form with you. I have 5 different The individuals here, here's their personal info, here's kind of their employment information, and then here's their W-2. Okay, so a W-2 is a document that you receive from your employer, typically in January, if not maybe in February, that tells you how much money you have earned from that one employer in the last year. Okay, so for me, my example is I'm teaching, and then I'm also tasseling in the summertime. Okay, so this coming January, I will receive a W-2 from Beatrice Public Schools because I was a teacher and a coach. I'll also receive a W-2 from S&J Detasseling because I was working with that company. So I'll receive 2 W-2s. Okay, or for example, let's just say you started a job at Runza last January, February, March. Then you switched, you quit there, and you went to Burger King. You went there from April, May, June. You then quit Burger King and then went to McDonald's and finished the rest of the year out there. The next January, you would receive 3 W-2s because you had 3 different places of employment. Okay, so I want to walk you guys through this. I'm going to walk you through Edgar's though, because this is more like you. A lot of you guys are 16, 17. You guys are probably living with parents, and here's the part-time job. Works about 10 hours a week, cleaning pools for $15 an hour. Okay, so out of the 5, this example matches you guys the best. Okay, but I want to walk you guys through this. What you'll want to do, okay, we're going to be screen flipping or switching from documents several times throughout the next 10 minutes or so. Okay, so right here's a W-2. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to open it. Okay, so right here pulls up his information. This is just a sample W-2 that you would find. I'm going to keep that open. So first, Edgar, he's 16, lives with parents, works about 10 hours a week cleaning the pools. Okay, I have his W-2 pulled up right there, which is right up here in one of my tabs. 1040. Okay, right here I'm going to click on that link. And this is now going to pull up an example of what one would look like, a 1040 form. Okay. These instructions right here, these are going to help you work through the 1040 along with me. Okay, so first off, filing status, what we just covered. Is Edgar single, married, filing together, filing separate, had a household, or widow? Well, it said he was single, so I'm going to click single. Okay, first name and middle initial, Edgar J. Flores. Okay, 111 West Main Street. He lives in Los Angeles, California. With a zip code of 904. Okay. Social Security number, right? You can find that right there. Obviously, it's a made-up pretend one, so I'll just put what they put. 1, 2, 3. I'll just go that way, I guess. Okay. So this is how far you start it. First name, last name, Social Security number. Here's your information right here. If you're living in an apartment, right there's your apartment number. If you are filing a joint return, so if you have a spouse that you're filing together, right there's the information where you could put the spouse's information. Okay. Edgar says he was a dependent, so right here I'm just going to click that he is a dependent. That doesn't apply. He doesn't have any dependents. Okay, if Edgar had a child or something, right there would be the place where he could fill that out for his children. All right, so now here is the meat and potatoes of it: wages, salaries, tips, etc. So it says a lot of times This information here will tell you what to do. Okay, so wages, salaries, tips. So this is saying look on your W-2 for your wages, salaries, and tips. Okay, so I'm going to click back to my W-2. Right here is my wages, tips, and other compensation, that $5,505. Okay, so I'm going to put 5,505. Okay, next, it says for lines 2A through 7A, assume 0 for each value. Okay, so here's 2A, it says 0 for each of those values. Okay, so now 7B, add lines 1 through everything that you just put in for your total income. So we want to add up all of these numbers together. Well, 5505 plus zeros are 5505. Okay. 8A. 8A, no adjustments to income. So that means we are going to put a 0 right here because there's no adjustments. 8B says subtract line 8A from 7B. So 8A, which is 0, from 7B. Well, it's the same number because you take 0 away from it. Okay. 9. Determine if the individual is or is not dependent. Okay, so first, is Edgar a dependent? Okay, which we have determined he is. Okay, so it's going to fall in one of these. If he was not, then we use that. But since he is a dependent. Now we need to look, is line B greater or less than 12,200? Okay, so 7B. Well, that's less than $12,002. So he is a dependent, and that is less than $2,200. So now what we want to do is add 350 to 7B. Okay, so what we want to do is add 350 to 7B. Okay, so 5505 plus 350, that's your 5855. Qualified business income deduction. Assume no qualified income deduction. Okay. 11A, add lines 9 and 10 together. Okay, so add those up. Right there. 11B, subtract line 11A from line 8B. Okay, so subtract 11A, which is this number, from 11B. If 0 or less, enter 0. Well, it's going to come up to be negative 350, but since that's negative, we are going to enter 0. Okay. This video, I can only record for up to 15 minutes for free since I'm not a member, and my 15 minutes is pushing it right now. So I'm going to finish this document up in 2 different sections. Okay, so this page 1 will be on this video. I'll record a second video to help you guys with this second page, but this is fairly easy to get through the back end as well. Like I said, it's a bunch of going back and forth, reading these instructions, using your W-2, and then here's your 1040 as well. Okay, so I will go back and continue walking through this example on my next video.